Hi and welcome. We're going to take a look at the Ballerina by Ray Moore, which is on Trinity's Grade 2 syllabus for 2018 to 2020. Let's begin by having a look at the score, making sure we understand everything that's on it. Allegretto, a little fast. Allegro is fast, allegretto, a little bit fast. Crotchet 65 is the suggestion. So that's where we're aiming for. Piano, staccato dots, simile in similar, so we carry on staccatoing the left hand there. We've also got some legato signs, haven't we? Some slurs. Forte, accent. That's quite a tricky bit, that. We'll come to that in a minute. Or piano is a crescendo in this bar, leading up to forte. And this sign means pause, hold on to the note a little bit longer. A pianissimo. And this note at the end is a grace note. It's an acciaccatura, a crushed note. So it's going to sound like that, except it's going to be pianissimo, or even quieter than that. And I know it's an acciaccatura and not an appoggiatura because of that line that's going through the note. If it didn't have the line, I would be thinking as opposed to. Now then, let's think it through hands separately first of all. I'm going to start with the left hand. We are in the key of C major, aren't we? There are no sharps or flats in the key signature, and our first chord is the chord of C major, C, E and G. So we want that to be nice and quiet and staccato and detached, a bit like I'm imagining a ballerina on her or his tiptoes. And quite delicate. And when you start off learning a piece, I would try and pay attention certainly to the articulation, the way you're playing a note, staccato or legato, and also to the dynamics as well. Try and get that all in from the outset. Now I'm going to go nice and slowly. So this is all the C major thing going on here. Simile, so I keep the same articulation. Yeah, the third finger does make good sense because it leads me up to... Now what chord am I... I've just moved up to a D chord, haven't I? Let's carry on. And let me stop there. Now at the end of this line, this is a little bit trickier, isn't it? We've come from the D chord. We do need the fourth finger to get our hand up, ready for that crunch there. And to get from there to the G, you're going to have to, I think, let go of those, which we need to anyway, and go and grab the G. I would want to drill that bar and get used to that feel of that octave. And then as we start the next line, we have another octave, don't we? There. Now, of course, the first two notes will be staccato, but here we have our first two notes that are linked up and accented and forte. Then we duck back down. Now here we need to hold on to that C as we add in the B flat with our thumb. And can you hear that that chord, I'm not going to look at the music for a minute, that wants to go to an F chord, doesn't it? That B flat wants to fall. And we use that chord for that effect. Or sometimes, yeah. And it lands on an F chord. Put an F chord there. And then this last bit, watch out for the fingering. Definitely second on that C, it's important. So I'm thinking, yeah, that's sort of what's going on. Slide off. And we have a pause to hold on to that. Let's try that again. Holding on to the F. Slide up. Hold on to the E. That is tricky and it will take a while. And it's a very common chord sequence he's got here. We've gone from the chord of C at the end of the previous line to C7 it's called, to F. That chord sequence you will recognise. Let's move on to the very last bit. I think 1 and 2 on this chord. Crush note. And you've got a huge distance to travel, haven't you? You've gone from that position right down to there. So again. Yes, I now know where I'm going. Let's have a look through the right hand. I think, unlike the left, which is playing staccato, the right needs to be legato. And those 3 phrases at the end, I'm deliberately trying to lift my hand off the keyboard. Because if I'm thinking about lifting my hand off, I have to separate the phrases. Hold on to that one. And then this phrase is the same thing as the beginning, but up a note. It's very common, it's a sequence. Smooth. So all the notes are smooth. Now, I'm hearing those last 2 notes. They could sound nice staccato, but it doesn't say so. But that does sort of work. You have a think, decide what you want to do. And then this is tricky. The fingering suggested is... Notice how it's moving by a semitone. So that's the chord that we want, and he's played the chord above it. Just before. We hear that a lot. In all sorts of styles of music. Now that is... It's quite awkward. I've got a huge gap there. You might want to try 5 5th finger on the A flat and go down to 4th. Though I don't deny that's also has its difficulties. Let's move on. We know this bit already. Hand off. Gradually growing through there. We sense we're coming to the end. Now those 2 quavers in bar 15, like the quavers in bar 9, I think do work quite well detached as well. Again, for you to have a think about. But those linked up the composer wants. And the E will be short, won't it? Because he's saying, I don't want that linked to the G. And then hold on to the G before the final, very delicate phrase. And those quavers the same. Thought process. Short or. By the way, the default position is usually to play legato. I'm just throwing some interpretive ideas your way. Let's now put them both together. I'm going to go nice and slowly. So delicate, tiptoe, and while that is playing staccato, so it might be a good idea to practice bringing off the hand too much. We wouldn't do that if we were playing ordinarily, but I don't know whether you can see that from the angle. And then at the end we have those together staccato. So each hand is being very independent one of another. This is legato, this is staccato, bah. And then we've moved up to a D chord in the bass. Legato with staccato, all together staccato. Notice I separated those. I'm just hearing it like that. Or whichever you find easiest. Move that left hand onto the fifth finger. That chord leads to an F chord. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what he wants. A second finger on the middle C. Are you hearing that growing even more? I think I am. And it makes the pianissimo all the more dramatic when it comes at the end. This bit as well, both hands have to move from there to there. That is a big leap. I would certainly drill that a bit as well. Make sure you know exactly where you're going. 2 C's, that makes life a bit easier, doesn't it? A G chord, going to C's. Could I go too far? That seems easy now. Let me finish off now by playing it through as if for the exam, and we'll check our tempo. Okay, I'll just pop that in my head. I won't play with the metronome. Good luck learning this piece. It's a lovely one to play. And if you like the music of Ray Moore, some of his pieces have been on the higher exams as well. You might want to have a look at those. Bye-bye for now.